Hello, everyone. Welcome to our next podcast. Myself, Dheer and Akshat Bansal, we both represent BL Insight Circle. And this is our 16th podcast, to be precise. Our guest for today's podcast is Miss Tanya Ganguly. She is currently the founding director and producer at Creative Play. So, Creative Play India is a creative agency and production house. They create web series, branded content, digital marketing campaigns for OTT, TV, and brands across sectors. She has been a creative producer for most of her life. She is also a creative director. She has co-produced a short film called I Me Myself, which was winner of the Berlin Film Festival 2017 and Cannes nominated in 2017. She's honored with 7 Promax World Gold Awards and 3 New York Festival Awards for work in branded content and promotions. She has worked with Sony TV, Times Network, and Star Network and has a varied experience. So, welcome, Miss Tanya Ganguly, and hope you're doing well.
Thank you, Dheer, for the very generous welcome, and thank you for all your kind words. I am glad to be on this show, and if anything that I bring here from my experience, from my learnings, anything that helps any of you achieve what you want in life, it will be a great honor.
Ma'am, we are very curious to know what is a creative producer and what was your journey to reach here. Because from a layman's term, everybody just assumes producer is just the one who puts in the investment or the funding for the project, for the movie, for the short film. What is a creative producer, and what is your how did you reach where you are?
So, uh, so basically, a producer is known to be the one who funds films. Actually, a producer's job is to gather funds for the films. In fact, a producer's job is to put the whole project together and make it happen. So there are financiers involved who actually bring in funds for the film. So they are financiers of the film. Producer usually owns the idea or puts together writers for an idea, puts together the whole team to see the project till it finishes. And also a producer is responsible for the distribution and the airing of the project. Now, so there is a so producer mainly in India handles finances. So for example, if there's a particular budget that has been assigned for a film, a producer's job is to see that the film finishes within that budget. But because of this, a lot of times creative compromises are made, and these creative compromises lead to misinterpretation of what have been written. So a lot of scenes change, a lot of storytelling changes in the process of just adhering to finances and matching the finances to a particular day of shoot. So that's where the role of the creative producer comes in. A creative producer needs to have a whole soul knowledge of how the finances are going to be managed, and also how creatively the project is not compromised to match the finances. And even if so, a creative producer makes the tweaks in the films so that the finances can be matched, at the same time the storytelling does not change. So that is where a creative producer comes in. A creative producer's job is to see who the cast is going to be, what will be the most perfect team to put the show together, uh, who the writers are. A creative producer sits through the writers within the writers room every day to make sure that the writing is also adhered to a particular budget. So that's where the creative producer's role comes in.
So, if I may say so, that creative producer is the one which is who is at the inception of the project. Even a director comes at a very, very later stage when the
Yes,
script is
absolutely,
done.
absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, okay.
Ideally,
Any,
yes.
yeah. Any former qualification on any or anything which is formally educationally driven? Uh, how qualified or what course do you need to do if you want to get here?
See, you don't need to do anything to be in the creative field for any job in the creative field. Even for a cinematography course, you don't actually need to have a cinematographer certificate. What you need is a licensing. That's it. See, this is a creative media. Okay, a lot of it is basis imagination, and a lot of it is basis life experience. So whatever we produce, somewhere down the line, it comes from our life experiences. But still, if there are a lot of courses for production that has been designed these days. So there are a lot of people who are taking certifications on TV productions, film productions. But I would say a good course to go to would be either a directions course or a writers course. I would personally really root for, for doing a writer's course, because finally the heart of it lies in the writing. So once everybody has a knowledge of writing, everybody has a grip on how story moves, how characters are interpreted, how storylines are, the skeleton of the storyline is written. So that helps you, branch out to different other areas of production and creative production and direction, everything.
So most of our audience, including we both, are MBA students passing out soon. So and most of our audience are MBA students or maybe MBA aspirants. What options do business school students have post their MBA journey if they want to enter this entertainment business on the business side, not as a actor or
Yes.
anything, but just to be part of the entertainment journey, maybe in
Right.
your role or maybe something else which you can
Right.
help us out with? Career
Right.
options for MBA students.
Right. See, the career options for an MBA student in the entertainment industry is the same as any other industry. There is branded content involved, there is sales involved, there is marketing involved, there is distribution involved. Everything is just the same as in any other industry. Because finally, the end consumer is the same people who are consuming your consumer goods, the same people are consuming entertainment. And even a lot of times the selling ideas and all of that is also, very skewed towards how consumer goods are sold. So you can finish your MBA and you can directly apply to any of the broadcast networks and today any of the OTT networks to do, to get into sales and marketing. Marketing is something that most of the MBA student really like, because marketing in the entertainment industry opens the stage for a lot of creative work also. You have to really think out of the box to sell every show. So that is something that acts as a bridge between, having the business ideas, having the financial ideas, and also, your inclination towards creativity. Other than that, there is sales. Sales in media is very much, I would say, like marketing. I don't know, some salespeople might agree with it, some might not, but I have seen mostly, even, in terms of selling a creative product, you have to be creative, you have to think of out of the box fun ideas, because finally you're sitting here to entertain, right? Finally you're selling entertainment. So yeah, creativity is something that goes in every department. I mean, you have to have creativity. So yeah, that's
So I was just wondering that based on the description, it seems like there's a lot of problem solving involved in a day-to-day basis. So, and I think that there will be something will be going wrong every day, and even sometimes there will be multiple things going wrong. So, how do
yes.
you deal with so many problems, and how do you deal with the uncertainty that comes with the job?
Yes, so entertainment industry comes with a lot of uncertainty actually, because on one hand you have to cater to the audience every day. Not one day, not even for a second, your television or your, platform can go black. Okay, at the same time, it's not a critical industry. So government supports and all of that kuch hai nahi, because entertainment hai. It's a very optional thing. But at the same time, you almost, like when we are in the broadcast networks, we almost feel like, if the dispatch doesn't go today, somebody is going to die, because on air it's going to be half an hour of black, which is absolutely an impossible thing to happen. So that is where the challenge is. When production goes on, you are suddenly, for example, I just finished a show, a web series in which I, on one day I had a unit of 300, 350 new people. Okay, because every time you're putting together a show, almost the entire crew is new people coming together to put together a show. So 300 people coming under one roof, working under extremely high pressure condition, because every day of shoot is very expensive on the producer. So nothing, one thing going wrong leads to an extension of timeline, leads to a lot of financial damage to the producer. So there is like almost zero chances of anybody making a mistake. And suddenly there are 350 new heads coming together to put together one person's vision on screen. So you have to accept that yes, there will be problems. There will be a lot of creative conflicts, and the only way to handle this is one, acceptance of the situation कि हाँ 350 नए लोग हैं, 350 लोग हैं who are handling teething issues, and along with that they are doing their day-to-day work. And the best thing to do is to listen. Once you listen to a person who has a conflict or has a problem, once you like really listen all ears, solution problem से ही आ जाता है, is what I have experienced so far. ऐसा कोई problem नहीं होता जिसका solution नहीं है. So yeah, I mean, people management is the biggest challenge, and that is what needs to be dealt with on an everyday basis.
It is actually very insightful to hear and understand that technically there are 300, 350 newbies on a set, and you are like the CEO of a project. Maybe it's just a short term 2 month or a 6 months project. So it's very
Yes.
similar to what we learn at MBA, like what we will go through maybe say 10 years, 20 years down the line. If say Akshat becomes the CEO of a company, so what he will go through, maybe you guys are going, a creative producer is going through on a day to day basis. So I
Absolutely.
want to ask, how do you handle stress in very high stake projects? There could be projects which are really small on budget, and there could be
Yeah.
one which comes maybe once a year or maybe once in a while, that are
Yeah.
really high budget, and you have to work on a deadline also, and there's a script you have to follow, or maybe you are making the script. Or so how do you handle stress in very high stake projects, high budget, high stake projects?
See, one thing is in media, there is nothing called high budget project, because the deliverable compared to the budget is always more than what the budget has been aligned to the project. So budget हमेशा कम ही होता है. There is always a budget crunch. Even in the biggest 100 crore film, there is always a budget crunch. Now, stress handling is something, see, you have to really keep calm. I mean, those are the basic things. You have to really keep calm. You have to be very prepared. So आपका homework strong होना चाहिए. Before getting on the floor, uh, usually बहुत कम creative producers या producers ऐसा करते हैं, but you have to really know your screenplay by heart. You have to know your shooting schedule by heart. So एक पूरा schedule बनता है which is on papers. Everything, every day, every second that happens on the shoot is put on papers. And the only thing how you can control any crisis is try and stick to what has been planned and what has been scheduled to the T, right from day one. So जहाँ पे एक चीज पे ढील आ गई, it's like a rope out of a sack. The entire thing just opens up, and the whole effect, domino effect, just keeps on continuing. And finally, half of the shoot you realize your budgets are over. So, and this happens. This kind of chaos happens. Projects get stalled. A lot of people's work get wasted. Second most important thing is keeping the team motivated. Before even the shoot begins, our first prep is to keep the whole team of 200 to 50 people, especially a core 50, 60 people who are the HODs, keeping them motivated, keeping them inspired, and helping them see your vision. सो फाइनल प्रोडक्ट जो बनने वाला है, आई मेक श्योर कि मेरी एक सेटिंग वाला जो बंदा है जो आके काम कर रहा है, हु इज अ डेली लेबर, ही आल्सो नोज मोर और लेस कि कौन सी कहानी पे आके शूट कर रहा है, उसको थोड़ा बहुत पता हो, बिकॉज अदरवाइज व्हाट विल कीप हिम मोटिवेटेड? ही हैज नो क्लू व्हाट इज ही वर्किंग टुवर्ड्स. So why will he put in that extra effort if a crisis comes? So motivation is the only thing that works, and planning.
So there's one question I had. What are the gender-specific, what you can say, problems that you see in the industry, or is it like a very inclusive industry as we can see? So that's one thing that I want to hint on. And based on that, my next question would be how difficult it is, for women to enter this field or even men to enter this field, considering the gender dynamics that are currently in the industry.
So see, gender problem so hai. I think it's the same as any other industry. The only thing is media being too much in the public limelight, a lot of things get known. Other industries are just not written about. So मीडिया में ऐसा कुछ नहीं है जो दूसरी इंडस्ट्री में नहीं होता, बिकॉज फाइनली द जेंडर डायनेमिक्स इन द कंट्री इज द सेम. इज द सेम सेट ऑफ पीपल, द सेम माइंडसेट, द सेम सोशियो कल्चरल सेटअप. See, I wouldn't say it's difficult for a girl to get into media. It's not difficult to get into media. But in day to day work, there is a lot of times where you have to deal with egos because you are a woman, so you are expected to behave in a certain way. If you are angry, there is a certain set of people on the shoot who will not expect you to shout, who will not expect a woman to scream up and come and boss them. But you know what? You have to understand who you're dealing with, and you have to find the breakthrough through them. So you can't stick to the mindset ki, I'm a woman, so what? I am the boss here, I am the producer here, तुमको मेरा बात सुनना पड़ेगा, वो लंबे टाइम तक नहीं चलता है. कभी कभी तुमको यू हैव टू जस्ट swallow योर ईगो, एंड बहुत प्यार से यू हैव टू टॉक टू अ egoistic worker who's coming from a very patriarchal family setup, who will not take bossism from a woman, but if you request him, he will probably do the work. And sometimes you have to, show your weight, you have to show them that you're the boss. But at the end of the day, it's you who have to believe that you can get the work done. And if you believe ki yes, I can get the work done and I can pull off this show together, then everything else can be handled. It's a learning process for me. Like, it's been almost 16 years I have been working in this industry. Every day that I have stepped onto a shoot, or every day I have stepped into the meeting, there is a new learning that I have taken, because every time there are new set of people and everybody teaches you something. So you have to be open to the idea कि कुछ अच्छा है तो कुछ बुरा भी है. Let's pick up the learnings and try to use them to handle the weak points.
So, ma'am, most of the people we know as outside world, as an audience who works in this industry, in the creative industry, they are very, very passionate about what they do. It's like most of the people we have seen interviews, we have seen so many people
Yes.
behind the camera giving interviews that they love what they do. So, what is
Yes.
the one best thing which you love most about your job?
See, first of all, creative industry is such na, the gratification is not always quantified. Secondly, the gratification is not immediate. So the only thing that can drive you to keep going in this industry is passion. Secondly, you are always put to judgment, because whatever you are doing, there is no numbers to be met, right? एक टारगेट नहीं होता कि हमें ये टारगेट मीट करना है. वी प्रोड्यूस अ पीस ऑफ वर्क, चार लोग बोलेंगे बहुत अच्छा है, दे विल जज यू सेइंग दैट वाओ यू हैव मेड सच अ गुड थिंग. छह लोग बोलेंगे अरे बेकार है. यू आर ऑलवेज पुट टू अ जजमेंट. This is what you can say. I'll first say what I don't like is that people here are not always open to something new. It really takes them time to adjust and get used to something new, and then say कि okay, genuinely ये अच्छा है या बुरा है, जो भी एक genuine feedback देना. Otherwise, most of the times when you present something new, the first reaction is very human. It's very नहीं 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 नहीं, we don't want this. No no no, we don't like this. Why? It's just alien to you. The thought or the product is just alien to you. There's nothing else. But still, it gets a feedback of rejection. So that is one thing I don't like. At the same time, what I have noticed so far, how much ever we say ki, we don't want to be judged, I am producing this piece of creative for myself, I want to be creative satisfied. But at the end of the day, it's the truth that the thing that keeps you running is when you produce a piece of work, and even if you see one person who's watching your piece of work smile or react to the way you expected a reaction, it just makes your day and keeps you going for the next day. So finally, yeah, you are catering to people, and if you can make somebody smile, or you can get a tear out of somebody because it's something emotional that you wanted to say, or you sent a message out very rightly, you're done. Sara mehnat, Sara hard work just comes together and gives you that satisfaction to go on to the next piece of work.
Oh, that's extremely insightful and helpful for us, in bringing perspectives on, how to be happy at the end of the day with whatever work that we do. So, formally, I would like to now present the vote of thanks. Uh, so throughout the conversation, we discussed a lot of factors, and we had multiple takeaways from you, from understanding what are the current challenges in the industry, how you scope, how do you define the problems, how to manage uncertainty, and at the end, it's at the end, it's boiling down to people management skills and keeping calm and being prepared in many scenarios, on in many uncertain scenarios that can just pop up at any time during the day, or even sometimes multiple times during the day.
Yeah.
And at the end, we finally discuss about passion and what keeps you going, what keeps oneself going, and how one should be always opening up to new experiences. So thank you, ma'am, and thank you, Dheer, for
Thank
organizing
you
this
very
podcast.
much. Thank you very much. It was a great conversation.